All right, cool guys. Good afternoon. It's great to see all of you guys. Welcome to the team meeting. It is the 9th of September. It's crazy. It's always crazy to think about how fast everything rolls, right? Like we're already almost halfway through September. So I'm super excited about where our team is headed right now. The train is moving. All right. I wanted to remind everybody about the ball in the fall contest. All right, we are balling right now, and we are falling. I don't know. I don't know if that works, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? We want to make a lot of money right now during this time of the year, and it's a really great time of the year to start selling Cutco just because of everything that's out there in front of us, right? We have a Labor Day weekend that just passed. I hope hopefully everybody had a great Labor Day, did some barbecuing and hit the pool and stuff like that. So people are just getting together more, right? And I think it also helps that quarantine. People are just kind of sick and tired of it. Are you guys kind of getting that feeling? Where everyone's just like, screw it, I want to get together. I want to get with friends. I want to be with family. I want to do things, right? And since not many places are like, it's hard to go, kind of go have a dinner out. Most people are cooking, but getting together, doing big barbecues, a lot more party like gatherings. So I think it's all in our favor right now. But the ball in the fall contest has been underway since the 18th. I'm gonna share kind of where everybody's like ranked right now. But this is a contest that we're going to be doing to jumpstart our fall. And there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now, a lot of really exciting things. And there's some opportunities for you guys to win some really cool stuff. So right now, I just got announced earlier this week that the company, this is like a national contest because I'm going to be going to a conference and I'm going to be representing our office. There's a national contest going on. That's actually going to be starting on the 14th. All right, don't quote me on that, but I believe it's the 14th. That's going to be starting where like offices are all competing against each other for this contest. But there's cash prizes up for grabs for you guys. I think it's like the top representatives that place for this contest, new representatives like that started this year. There's like $250 up for grabs. I think $100 cash, and then also the number one gets $500 bonus cash right there. So there's one contest right there. All right, then right now we're in the middle of Conference of Champions push. All right, so the Conference of Champions, everybody that qualified to come to this event, that's going to be taking place on the 18th. So there's that contest going on, and there's some really cool region prizes for that. Plus, I'm doing a contest for you guys just because I love you guys. You guys are an awesome, amazing team, and I want to go celebrate and have some fun with you guys. So look at this ball of the fall contest. Right now, it's been a 9-week contest. It ends on October 19th. All right, so October 19th. So you have like about like a month and a half before this contest ends. And if you sell 8,000, we're going to be going out to a fancy meal. We're going to be eating lobster. We're going to be eating steak. We're going to be eating caviar. I don't know what we're going to eat, but it's going to be fancy. All right, it's going to be Snapchat worthy. It's going to be Instagram worthy, and it's going to be awesome. All right, and then I'll pass around the bill afterwards because this is going to be a pretty big tab. I already can smell it. All right, so it's gonna be a pretty big tab, and then you guys can like take a picture of the bill. You're like, yeah, I got it like that. Come sell some knives with me, bro. But with this contest, we have a friend portion. All right, so those of you guys that have friends that you've recommended to the team before, or there's probably a lot of friends that just probably haven't heard about the job yet. We want you guys to keep helping us build the team, keep helping us build the biggest, baddest office in the organization. So every friend that you guys recommend between now and the 16th gets you $1,000 towards the prizes. You hear that, Andrew? An extra $1,000 towards the prizes. All right. So you guys should be working towards that. So it's going to be really fun. I'll figure out the dates around like after like the contest ends. So that way it works with everybody's schedules with like school and stuff like that. And then we're going to have a blast. All right, but here's kind of like the leaderboard for this. Daniel Reeder and Andrew Duber are leading the way. For these guys to hit it, they got to sell 16,000 because like Daniel Reeder, he kind of just farts out $8,000. All right, so like these guys got to sell a little bit more because they're over $150,000 in their career sales. All right, now, but Micah for like the newer guys is leading the way. He's one of our assistant managers, followed by Ali. Then we have Raymond who just started. He's already making a good impact towards that. Then we have Brent. All right, Brent, you're right there. Then we have Tevin. Tevin, you see yourself? You're right there in the mix, man. All right, so 7,000 more to go. Or what we could do it a lot of different ways, right? You can sell like 4,000 more, and then recommend, what is that? So 4,000 more, so that would put you at 5, and then recommend 3 friends. Boom, you're coming to have a fancy dinner with us. And I already could tell you like some steak and lobster. All right, so it's definitely going to be worth it. So definitely get some fights to get some friends on the team. All right, then we have Kyle up there. We have Nico. We have Haley. We have Angel. We have Aiden. We have Valerie, David. So these are kind of like the people that are on track and leading the way. I can't see that last name. There's something blocking it on my screen. All right, but let's continue to build, guys. All right, let's continue to build. If you guys haven't already, can everybody pause for a second and follow our Instagram page? All right, so if everybody can follow the Instagram page, it's at East Riv Office. All right, East Riv Office. I know most of you guys are following us, so I appreciate that. But I want to start featuring you guys and being able to tag you guys when I say good things about you guys on our Instagram page. So that's going to be pretty cool right there. All right, now I have some extra positions that are available. I'm looking for a social media manager, right? Like someone that's pretty good with Instagram and like has a decent amount of followers. Even if you guys like know somebody that like kills it on Instagram, has good followers, good engagement, definitely like you can recommend them to me because I am hiring for like a social media position. So just let me know about that. All right, but thank you guys for following us real quick. And don't worry, I will follow you back. All right, I know some of you guys are like, you're going to ruin my balance, bro. All right, so don't worry, I got you. All right, so, but personal recruiting, this is just something that our office and I know my assistant managers are already getting really passionate about. Like Andrew Myers, he's already recommended like over like 20 friends this year. And he just sent another one into like he just sent me their Instagram profile on Instagram. And so I know he's recommending more people and everybody on the assistant managers are working hard to help us build the team because we have a lot of talented people, but we gotta up our numbers. We gotta get more people on our team working hard towards the mission. All right, but also by building the team, it just makes it more fun with you. Right, like I know Hunter for a fact would have 10 times more fun if he's working the job with like a bunch of his buddies. Right, it just makes work way simpler, way more fun. Right, and then you also get a chance to compete against other teams. Right, like I think of like there's Teresa and Jacob Hall on like the same PR team here. Right, imagine if like Kyle and somebody else like on his team were all competing against each other to see who has the strongest team. Right, so like I want us to create some like more competition in the office, right? Like I love competition. I love when we're competing, when we're working hard and trying to crush each other. All right, plus you win prizes in the process. All right, so you guys get prizes and some cool things. All right, now we run interviews Monday through Saturdays, so there's always like an interview that you can like pump your friends into. Usually just like set up a 3-way text with me or one of the assistants, and we can help you guys get your friends set up for an interview. Or you could invite your friends even to just come on to a team meeting with you, right? Like I used to do this all the time when I was a representative. I would like tell my buddies like, oh yeah, come hang out with me. And then I'm like, oh, hold on, I got to stop by a meeting really quick, right? And they would hop onto the meeting. And then like next thing you know, they got into it. They're like, oh, whoa, that's awesome. Your office is about to sell $1 million. Like, dang, I want to be a part of this. And like they would just kind of like, hey, like how do I work here too? And so you guys can do it that way as well. So when you do have friends start or come in for an interview, just make sure they show up the right way. All right, but I do want to remind everybody of the team builder contest. So when you guys get your first 2 friends, all right, you get a $25 DoorDash gift card or the ice cream scooper. 3 friends qualifies you for the Region Team Builder Scholarship. 4 friends, you win the Homemaker Completion Set or a $100 shopping spree. And then 6 friends gets you the $800 Gourmet Set or a $200 shopping spree. And then 8 friends qualifies you for the annual region trip. You're going to be going to Mexico. All right. And right now the assistant managers have a goal where we have all the assistant managers in Mexico. But you want to know what would make that even better? we had like the whole team in Mexico, right? Like imagine Elijah just being on Mexico on the beaches with a margarita, with some tacos. It's fantastic. Like that is the life to live. All right. So I want everybody to be able to take advantage of all these contests and all these perks of the job. All right, because it makes it 10 times more fun. All right. So that's like the PR contest. And I'll talk more about that later on today. But to be a champion, you need to compete. To be a great champion, you need to compete with the best. But to be the greatest champion, you got to compete with yourself, right? And that's kind of what we've been living by as an office. All right, we want to continue to get better. And like, yes, it's great to compete with everybody, but it always starts with us first, right? In order for us to hit our goals, we got to compete with ourselves, right? We gotta always push ourselves to the next level, and we gotta win. Like you gotta win for yourself first before you can win for anybody else, right? And that I think that's like the thing that's so important. So make sure you guys are working hard. All right, don't do it for me. Don't do it for Cutco. Don't do it for mom or dad. Do it for you. All right, that's what's gonna make you the most happy. All right. Now, as you guys know, we're a top 10 office right now. We're trying to move up into the top 5 by the end of the year. So that is our goal, is to finish inside the top 5. Now, our mission as a group, as an office, is to provide the best personal, professional, and financial opportunity for young adults in the Inland Empire, proven through hard work and a positive attitude. All right. And I think this is so important, right? I want to provide the best opportunity for everybody here. I can't think of a job that's better, right? Think about what we do. You get to sit at home, you get to be in like your lounge clothes, you hang out with soccer moms, talk for a little bit, and then they buy knives, and then you're like, sweet, I just made like $60 in that 1 hour. Now I can go back to playing video games until my next appointment. I don't know. I can't think of a job that's better than that. All right, but you got to work the job. All right, because as soon as you guys start working like professionals, you're gonna start getting paid like professionals. All right, so that's what I want you guys to really encompass, is right here, this hard work and positive attitude. All right, hard work and positive attitude. All right, many of you guys like probably like just get like some random positivity things from me, right? Like on a daily basis, right? Like always stay positive. All right, there's a lot of negativity out there, right? Like especially like scrolling through like your timeline, right? Like the things that get shared the most is like all the negative things that happen to people, right? I know there's so many crazy videos out there. So I want us to really be focused on that, on the positive aspect of things. All right, so right now we're building. This is our build year. All right, next year is going to be our epic year. And then 2022 is going to be where we scale to the masses, right? That's when the empire should be built at like its biggest capacity, but then hopefully from there we can scale it even bigger. All right. Now, before I get into teaching, I'm kind of going through this a little fast because I want to get right into the teaching, because I know there's many of you guys that need help with similar things, right? Recommendations, phone calls, and just getting better on the phone. So that's what we're going to be talking a lot about today, is like building up your names list, right? This is something I like to do every month, right? I'm always going to have a talk about this probably every single month on how to rebuild your names list. All right. Some of you guys, it's going to sound familiar, but then there's also going to be little things that you missed. All right. And I'll talk about that in a second. All right. But upcoming events. All right. We have Leadership Academy on September 12th. All right. Last week's team meeting, like you guys found out who got accepted into the Leadership Academy. So that was super, super cool. So congratulations to those of you guys that got accepted. And then those of you guys that haven't got accepted yet, right, work to earn a spot. All right, we're always looking to fill up our Leadership Academy. We're always looking for the next level leadership. So here's something you guys can write down for those of you guys that aren't in Leadership Academy. Here's what we're looking for. All right, we're looking for people that have surpassed $6,000 in career sales. We're looking for people that want to grow and develop, right? So grow and develop your skills, not just in Cutco, but like your personal skills, like your interpersonal skills, like public speaking, time management, high level goal setting and sharing, right? Financial management, right? So those are like the things that we're looking for when we're bringing people into Leadership Academy. So people that are selling at the highest level, right? Leading by example, and they want to get better. That is what we look for the Leadership Academy. All right. So the first meeting is going to be on September 12th. Those of you guys that are, I know there's many of you guys that are in class right now, and you're going to be watching this recording. I know there's a lot of you guys that are right there on that cusp of like being at 6,000. Strive, work hard to get there. So that way you can earn yourself an interview. So once you like do qualify for a Leadership Academy, you do have to apply and then like interview to make sure it's going to be the right fit, because we want people that are committed, right? We want this to be the highest level of individuals working really hard, and the ultimate mission is to become a 5-star recruit. All right. Now, every Sunday, these are going to be picking up again. I know they've kind of been gone the last few Sundays, but they're going to be starting up again starting this Sunday. All right. So every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. This is going to be a planning session. So this is where I'm going to actually sit down and plan out my week, and you guys can kind of like hop on. So like if you guys need tips on how to like plan for the week, or work on some time management skills, or just have questions about like the job or getting better on something, that would be a great time to do that, right? To hop on right there. And then we'll obviously have like a phone jam or something like that, and then and all that great stuff. Okay, so that's going to be every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. And then the phone jam will carry on after that. Also, if you have like any pay issues, or you need to like fix something with your base pay, you should definitely be on there for that. All right. Speaking of which, Teresa, can you make sure you kind of get like an attendance of like who's here right now for me? Thank you. You can leave out the assistant managers, of course. All right. Now, on Sunday at 5:30, if you want to be a part of our team builder program, all right, that's going to be every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. I'm specifically looking for people that want to try to go to Mexico, off of like referring their friends to the position, or referring like other people, or just helping us build the team, right? So you might not necessarily like have to just recommend your friends, but we actually have like people. Sorry, this is going to start at 5 p.m. So put down 5 p.m. But yeah, like I'm actually have like little like bonuses, or like if you guys want to earn some extra cash to help us call other representatives' friends that they recommended to the job to help us build up the team. All right, so we need as much help as we can get. So just ask me how you can help. Ask me how you can do more. Ask me how you can earn some extra cash, and I got some things for you guys. All right, and then in the top right corner, you'll see ask your manager about how to like get an invite. That's for like Leadership Academy, key staff events, and all that great stuff. All right, which leads me into the key staff meeting. All right, key staff meeting. This is going to be on Saturday, the 19th from 9 to 10 a.m. All right, so Saturday the 19th from 9 to 10 a.m. All right, now the key staff meetings are going to be starting again, and those are going to be bi-weekly. Now, to get on key staff, that only takes $2,000 in sales to earn a spot in key staff, and then a conversation with me. All right, so if you're over 2,000 and you haven't been to a key staff meeting yet, talk to me. All right, like you should like, hey, John, how do I get on key staff? What do I got to do? What is key staff entitle for me? All right, so so ask me about that stuff. All right, and then reminders on PDI. Make sure if you're doing demos for the day, make sure you shoot me a call. All right, the number one reason why representatives don't get the results that they don't want is they stop talking to their coach. Right, so you don't need to call me every single day, but like definitely you should be calling me on the days that you're working before you start working. Just like, hey, John, I got 2 appointments today. Just wanted to shoot you a quick call. Right, and then we can chat a little bit more. I wanna open our lines of communication up a little bit more. All right, so I want to hear more from you guys. So like Julianne, like I want to hear more from you, right? Like a phone call. All right, the messages are great and all, but you guys know I'm pretty bad at getting to messages like right away. So a phone call is usually the best. All right, so call me, like I'll pretty much answer like right away. All right. So call me as much as you can. Right. Elijah, I want to talk to you more. Right. So call me. All right. So call before your first appointment. And then also, if you needed just some one-on-one time where maybe we sit down for like 15, 30 minutes, like yesterday, I just got a chance to talk with like Kioma because she does track, she has school, plus she has a lot of extracurriculars. But we sat down for like 15 minutes and just like walked through her schedule and worked on her time management. So I'm also available for like one-on-ones as well. Okay. President's Club letter. All right. 8,000 September through December. All right. $8,000 in sales. That should always be like your minimum that you shoot for a campaign. All right. Right now we're in the fall campaign, which ends, I believe, December 31st. You should always like be shooting somewhere around like that $8,000, $10,000 mark, like minimum for the campaign. So that way you always lock in this President's Club letter. But also when you like calculate like the income that's producing, that's also going to be a generous income as well. So you definitely want to make sure you're doing the President's Club letter. Now, if you sell 6,000 between October and December, you also win the President's Club letter. And then if you sell 4,000 between November and December, you also win the President's Club letter. Now, some people look at this, they're like, well, I might as well just wait for November and just sell 4,000 in that time frame. However, that is a terrible strategy, right? Because you need to build momentum. And if you're just going there cold turkey, you're not going to get off to the best start right away. And it's usually harder to do it that way. But if you just take off little chips here and there, you have a $500 week this week. You have a $700 week next week. Then you sell 2,000. Then you sell 1,000, and you just chip away. You'll hit that a lot quicker. Plus, you should be striving for this ball in the fall contest so we can go eat some lobster. All right. So just remember that, right? So if you shoot for 8,000 by October, you knock out the President's Club letter, ball in the fall contest, plus your wallet and your bank account is very sexy. All right. So those are some great reasons right there. All right. Now I wanted to go over some hot news real quick, and then we'll go into the teaching. So this was from the summer campaign. All right. The new updated for fall campaign isn't out yet. That comes out this Friday. So you'll be able to see those standings for the fall. But here's everyone that turned in orders last week. So I just wanted to give recognition to those people. Now, if you're wondering like, all right, well, how do I have a big week? How do I sell $2,000 or $3,000 for the week? I want you to look at the amount of orders, right? So Daniel Reeder right here had 10 orders, sold $2,721. Now, right there with 10 orders, what that shows you is he's working, right? Clearly, it wasn't all homemaker sale orders. So I don't even think his biggest sale, I think, was like $400 or $500 last week. But he had a lot of orders, right? So it's not about the size of the order. Some of you guys kind of have the mentality, you're like, it's either homemaker or I bust, right? And that's great and all. Like, I love that you're thinking big and you want a big order, but it's actually about the small orders. Most of my best representatives, they get a lot of different sized orders. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but usually it's like right there in between, right? And I want to break this down, right? 3 knives. 3 to 4 knives is like the magic number right there, right? Because let's think about it. 3 knives, that's about like $350, right? $350. Now, you can divide that by 3. That's 116. 116. So can we get a customer to commit to 3 knives, right? 3 knives is where we should be like at the bare minimum, right? Like think about if you average 3 knives per appointment, you're going to be golden, right? Do that 3 times a week. That's going to be a very nice week. Okay. So that's where you should be shooting for right there. All right. We had Raymond, right? His first weekend on the job, turned in 4 orders, 1471. All right. Valerie, she had 2 orders for 800 CPO. So that's super exciting. Good job, Valerie. We had Allie turning in 1 order for 774. We had Jessica with 3 orders, 459. So good job right there, Jessica. We had Elizabeth with 1 order. We had AJ Pacheco with 1 order. We had David Choi with 1 order. We had Brenta Coulomb, we had Yolanda, we had Owen. So nice job, Owen, right there, turning in one order. And then we had Josh turning in an order right there. All right, so great job, guys. Give all those guys a round of applause right there. So that's what you should strive for at a minimum. One order for the week, right? No goose eggs. As you guys can see, like the smallest order was $20. Right, so $20, right? But then like it goes a lot bigger from there. Like the biggest one order it looks like was $7.74 from Ali. All right, so that was orders placed for the week. Now I also wanted to recognize some people that were already on the board. So I believe we had Kierna already turned in an order, and Micah already turned in an order so far today. So that's super exciting right there. So great job, guys. And I always want to remind yourself this. You can't deposit excuses. Stop giving the excuses, right? Some of you guys, I was talking to somebody, and they're like, oh, John, I'm so sorry. I slept in. And I'm like, you can't sleep in, man. That's just an excuse, right? You can't deposit excuses, right? Like Tevin, you know this, in sports, excuses doesn't win basketball games, right? So it's all about the hard work and just making sure you show up. Showing up is just half the battle. And I commend all of you guys for being here today, because you definitely don't have to be here on a Wednesday night, but you're here because you want to work on yourselves. You're here because you want to get better. You're here because you want to make more money, right? So let's make sure we focus up right now. All right, so go ahead and take out something to take some notes. I'm going to talk about building up your names list, and then I'm going to bring up Andrew, and he's going to help you guys get better on the phone, okay? So let's talk about names lists. By a show of hands, does anybody feel like they're running out of people to call? Good. Almost all of you guys, right? So here's where we'll start at. So right now, I want you guys to think about the first day of training, right? You remember how, like, for many of you guys, I had you guys create a names list, right? We just started thinking of some thought joggers, and we're just thinking about like how many people we actually know. So every time as a representative, anytime I felt like I was running out of names or I was running out of people to call, I would always go back to the well. Go back to the well. So meaning, like, I would start from square one again. So like if I'm Tevin, right? Like I know Tevin, you started a few weeks ago, and you have not probably done 50 demos at this point, right? So you still have a lot of people on that names list. So let's just we're gonna just do some brainstorming for a second. I want everybody to write down, or actually everyone pull out your phones real quick. Scroll down to the bottom of your contacts and see how many contacts you just have in your phone. And then write that number down in your notes. Write down phone contacts, this number. Okay? Then after that, I want everybody to think of this next number. All right? So I know before I did this exercise, I wanted to kind of like see how many people did I graduate with. All right, so I looked back at that number, and I graduated with 783 people. So I want you guys to think about how many people did you graduate with from high school? And if you don't know the exact number, guesstimate. Guesstimate how many people did you graduate with? And then write that number down. All right, now guess how many people from the people that I graduated with that I actually did a demo with. I was actually really surprised at this number. And it was 5. 5 till this date. 783 people I graduated with. Probably knew most of them. And I only did 5 demos with those people. All right. So what does that tell you right there? It tells me I was being a chicken, right? So all right. Now let's go to social media. Where is your main place that you go for social media? All right. Now I know there's some of you guys that aren't big social media people, but I also know there's some of you guys that live on Snapchat, right? That's like you don't even use your texting, you use Snap. All right. Some of you guys are on Instagram more. How many followers or how many people do you have on there? Write that number down. Choose your number one place that you go to, though. And if you don't have one, just leave it blank. All right, now total those numbers up real quick. All right, raise your hand if you came up, if your number is at 100. If you got to at least 100, raise your hand. Okay. 200. 300. 400. 500. 6. 7. 8. 9. 1,000. Somewhere around there, give or take. All right, cool. So it looks like Tevin's hand is still up, and great. So there you go. That's like the first start. Go back to your network. All right. Now, here's the challenging part. Remember how I said you're a chicken? Yes, I'm looking at all of you guys. You see me staring into this camera? Imagine me looking at you and calling you a chicken. All right. So start there first. Call the people that you haven't. Right. And I view it like this. What's the worst that happens? Right. Even if you don't have their phone number, you can call people through Snapchat. You can call through people through Instagram. You can call through Facebook. And if they're in your phone, you can call them. Right. And it's not hard to look up somebody on one of these platforms. Right. You're like, oh, I remember this person had a lot of money. Let me look them up real quick and say, hi, how have you been? All right. And then boom, set up a demo. So your effort goes wherever the direction you're thinking, right? Because if you keep thinking like, I don't have any people to call, guess what you're selling yourself on? You're like, you tell yourself, you're like, oh, I have no more people to call. I guess I can't make calls this week or next week or tomorrow or the next day. Right? So start there, right? Now, what percentage of whatever number that you wrote down right there, what percentage of those people would you feel comfortable reaching out to? Is it 5%? Is it 10? Is it 20? Or are you just like, F it, John, I'm going to full send. Full send. Andrew looks like he's going to full send right now. Right? Because like, think about it. Even 5% of 1,000 is 50. All right. So you saw what I just did with you guys right there. Now the next thing you guys got to do if you haven't yet, right? And I know many of you guys like that have worked with me for a while. You're like, I already know he's going to say next. My parents. Right? Think about how many people you guys wrote down and double it. That's probably how many people your parents have in their network. But sit down with mom and dad, right? And just share your goals with them, right? Like, hey, mom, so I'm working with Cutco right now. I kind of messed up. Like, just be honest. Like, hey, I kind of messed up at the beginning, but now I got the hang of it, right? So I need you to recommend me to more people. I get paid every time I show Cutco, and I can only show it to people I've been personally recommended to. Right? So could everybody reach out to mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, and get three more referrals? Does 3 sound like a lot? And here's why I know you can do this is because I just got 2 referrals from my mom the other day. I've been with the company for 8 years. My grandma also gave me another referral. Like, they're always recommending me to people, and I don't even sell Cutco anymore. I'm like, okay, grandma, like, I don't sell Cutco anymore. And they're like, yeah, just go by, do the little demo for her and everything like that. Right? So they never gave you the amount right away. Right? Like Owen, think about it. Your first weekend, do you think you did the best you could on recommendations? You don't have to answer it, but your first week on the job, let's be honest, we all sucked. Right? We all sucked. We all just like, oh, let me just do this. Oh, I messed up. Okay, I'm done. Right? You probably didn't even ask for recommendations the proper way. So that's why I always say go back to the well before you freak out. All right? Excuse me. All right? Now, there's more. There's more. We can keep going all day. Right? There's so much more. Right? Like, how many of you guys played sports growing up? Right? So like I know Tevin for sure plays basketball. You still play basketball, right? Hit up all your teammates' parents, right? Sports parents are like the most supportive people in the world, right? Because they get it. But then think back to like your travel ball team that you used to play with, right? And you used to go to practice and work out with these people every single day. You have that relationship built right there. Go right there. Right? And think of like way back then, right? Think about when you played a different sport, all those parents and things like that, right? It's worth a reach out to, right? Then let's think back to like school, like counselors, right? Teachers, principal. Some of you guys are religious, right? Think about your church. Have you got the church directory yet? Yeah. Right? So it's like, or where else could you get a directory? Right? Some of you guys can get a sports directory. Some of you guys can get a directory from your own school. Right? What if you just took the risk? You're like, you know what? Let me get CBU's directory, Teresa, and just call everybody. Right? Like, I mean, it can't hurt. They can't all say no. So think about that, right? Now, what about your neighbors? How many houses are in your neighborhood? A lot, right? A lot. So how many of your neighbors have you seen? Most of you guys is probably like 1. Andrew put up 3. So if you guys check the group chat, the WhatsApp, I posted a sticky note approach in there. So this sticky note approach is exactly what it sounds like. You get a bunch of sticky notes and you go put them on your neighbor's door. All right. So go buy a pack of sticky notes. Don't get the dollar store ones because those ones just fall off the door. I tried it. And basically I just littered my whole neighborhood. And my number was on it. All right. So get like good sticky notes that stick. Or you don't even need to get sticky notes. Just take pieces of paper and just tape it onto the door. Get creative, right? Like it doesn't need to be an expensive thing, right? And like just one day, right? Like you're just home bored, right? I know there's a lot of bored days, or maybe you like go out for a run in the morning and just go stick every door. Just go do it because it works. All right, everything I'm telling you guys, like I have personally done. All right, I remember going around my neighborhood, putting up sticky notes, and half of the time, the people I set up were just kind of outside their house, and I just went up to them, like, "Hey, wanted to give you this note on your door." And but it's something simple. It's just like, hey, smiley face, my name is John, I live in the neighborhood, I'm working on a scholarship, so I just had a quick question for you. I know it's out of nowhere, but if you could call me at blank blank blank, and you can change that to text or call is fine, um, at this number, it would really help me out, thanks. All right, because now it's something very simple, very very blunt, straight to the point. And then you start getting calls. They're like, "Hey, I got this note on my door. You said you're a student. You need some help." Boom, just pull up your script. You're like, "Yeah," and then just read the script and set up the appointment. Simple as that. If you end up running into one of your neighbors while you're like doing it, just like, "Oh yeah," like point to where you live. Like, "Oh yeah, I live in that pink house over there." Right, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen you like growing up and stuff like that," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Right, can you help me? Right, and just say like, and I always like using the school thing because people want to help out students, right? Or like I'm going to school, I'm saving for school, whatever it is, like cater that towards you. All right, now in order for this to work, you got to put it on enough doors, so you got to put up at least 50. All right, you got to put up at least 50. All right, you can't just go put up 10 and be like, "John, that didn't work." All right, because it's a numbers game. So you got to put up at least 50, and you'll definitely get some responses. You'll definitely get some callbacks. Now, this isn't the end all be all answer, but this is to help jumpstart you, right? This is to help get some initial appointments on, right? But then on the back end, you got to make sure we're staying on top of our recommendations, right? We got to make sure we're getting recommendations from every customer. All right. So let me recap what I just kind of talked about. Go back to the well, right? Social media, contacts, people you graduated with, how many more are in there that you just need to reach out to? All right, that's the first thing. Then your parents, family members, aunts, grandparents, so on and so forth. Could you collect 3 to 5 more recommendations from each of those people? Right? Directories. Who's going to get the first directory on here? All right. And if you do, like, I want you to post that in the group chat, right? Like, hey, I just got my church directory. Hey, I just got the directory to my gym. Hey, I just got this directory, right? Let's see how much you can stack up, right? Shoot, look through your yearbook. If you're not sure how many people you graduated with, just look through your yearbook, look those people up on Facebook, and just follow the Facebook approach. All right. And then the last thing was the sticky notes. All right. Now I also reshared the recommendations approach and the Facebook approach. It's all in that sheet. So if you guys want to open that real quick, I'm going to go down to the Facebook. Ugh, I said the Facebook like an old person. All right. So Facebook. How many of you guys have had customers post on Facebook for you? 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. So we need to get more people to post. So when we go back to the well, family, right? Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, all those people, could they give you 2 recommendations plus a post? That would be a huge win. Could you go back to every customer that you've had or every demo that you've done and try to get a Facebook post thrown up for you? Let them know, like, hey, I'm in this big contest. And by the way, guys, if you got to share these contests that you're in with your customers. I don't, like, it was so big for me as a representative. Like, I would be like, hey, Mrs. Jones, I actually need you to buy something today because the manager said he was going to buy me lunch. And they're like, oh yeah, done deal. Like, I'm not even joking, guys. And sometimes it's that serious, right? Like, yeah, I'm actually in a contest with this guy and I just don't want to lose. So can you just buy something? Smile and nod. And they do it. right? Like, hey, my manager's actually going to take me to Fleming's Steakhouse, right? Have you ever heard of Fleming's? They're going to be like, oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, I want to be able to like blow out his savings and on a meal. Like, can you help me like take all his money? They're like, yeah, of course. All right. So obviously like phrasing better, but like that's, I would say stuff like that. And customers always love to get on your side, right? People like to be on the side towards something so they can like help you win. People want to win. People want to be a part of a winning team. So make sure you're sharing that with your customers. All right. So Facebook, this is right here at the bottom. And I just wanted to bring your eyes back to this, right? Because I know this is like a separate document. So sometimes if you're not using it all the time, it could disappear. So, oops, what I do? Okay, there we go. So yeah, so make sure we're using this. Ask your customers to post. The post is right there. You just copy and paste it, and then it has the direct message on there. All you got to do is copy and paste and just adjust it with your information. I'm not going to go over this. This will be for a different day, but I just wanted to make sure I brought your eyes back to this. This is the recommendations script you guys should be using, and this should also be the Facebook script that you're using. All right, so can we make a quick to-dos? All right, can we get everybody on here to get somebody to put up 5 Facebook posts this week? All right, and as soon as you guys get your 5, share that on the WhatsApp group chat, right? Just say, hey, just got my 5th customer to post on Facebook for me this week. Plus I got this amount of recommendations. All right, so can we get 5 new customers to share you on Facebook? Make sure that you're friends with them on Facebook. Make sure they tag you in it. All right, and then can we do some footwork, right? And get some sticky notes out there. Now, you don't have to do this one, all right? But if you want to like really jumpstart and drive some more recommendations, I would highly recommend it, right? So once somebody goes out there and sticky notes that, can you guys share that to the group chat? All right. So also everybody, I want us to get the group chat like blowing up again. All right. I want our culture to start like increasing like how it was. Just because it's not like the summer where we can just sell Cutco all day because there's nothing else to do, doesn't mean we don't have to stop that culture, right? We can keep that culture going up all throughout the time. All right. So now that I helped you guys kind of create like a framework to get more names, more numbers on the list, now I want to make sure you guys know how to contact these people. All right, and how to contact them effectively. So I'm going to bring up our wonderful assistant manager. Are you going to just share the slides yourself, Andrew?
I can share, or you can share. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'll just share it since I'm right here.
Okay.
All right, so Andrew's going to be talking about how to make phone calls, how to get better on the phone, how to be more effective on the phone. And this is extremely important because it can cut your phone time in half, right? Because it takes you less calls to schedule appointments. So this is going to be pretty important. So make sure you guys take some great notes on this. Andrew, you can go ahead and take it over. Just tell me next slide whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, sounds good. So, my name is Andrew. Once again, I'm one of the assistant managers. And just to kick it off about like mastering the phone, I just want to see your guys' hands really quickly. How many of you love making phone calls? Love making phone calls, right? I only see myself raising hands. So today I'm gonna help you get better at making phone calls and how to actually like learn to enjoy it and be excited about it. So just to kick it off with, you can go ahead and change the slide, Baker. So just to kick it off with on your notes, I just want you to write down on the left side of your page, PHONE. I want to tell you what phone stands for really quickly. So once everyone gets that down, get the P started first. So you can go to the next part, Baker. So when you get to the P part of phone, so it stands for being personable, right? Like how have any of you like ever answered the phone from somebody somebody that calls you and then all you hear is, hey, is this Julian? Or hey, is this Teresa? You know, there's like no energy going on right there. So you want to be energetic and enthusiastic, right? Because if you're not excited, and they're not going to be excited as well. So one thing also too, you want to smile on the phone as well, right? Have any of you ever just tried saying the same phrase, but one not smiling and one smiling? Just try it out right now. You know, like I'll practice for you right here. No smile. Hey, my name is Andrew. And then with the smile, hey, my name's Andrew. You see like the tone change right there and how it sounds a little bit better, right? So learn to smile during the calls right there. And then also too, make some phone calls while looking in the mirror. You know, see what you look like. You know, if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, I don't want to talk to this guy right now I'm playing. But you know, looking at yourself in the mirror and just realizing how you do that. So that's what the P stands for. And then the H stands for honing your skill, you know, mastering the craft, knowing your approach, you know, and when you're able to master your craft and know the approach, you'll become a lot more confident, right? Like at the start of training, right? I bet many of you are like this because I was myself, you know, I wasn't super confident because I hadn't learned it yet. But as you continue to do it more and more, and you learn to master the craft and learn the approach, so you just become a lot more confident naturally, which makes it a lot easier, you know, to set up demos and make sales as well. And if you aren't getting the results that you want, find out what you're doing wrong and then just make it better. You know, always mastering your craft is really important. So embrace the failure that happens and learn from it. That's what you want to do. That's how you get better every single day. And you can go to the next part, Baker. So now the O in phone, right? This stands for outstanding. You know, you want to do things that make you stand out, you know, be outstanding, you know, like being ready to go and always prepared for your work, like always having your manual right there, knowing how to answer the phone, knowing how to communicate to your customer, you know, and always answer it in a positive way, right? Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you're not enthusiastic, you're not excited, right? They're not going to want to help out as much. Think about it in a friend's way. If your friend called you and was like, hey Owen, or hey Julianne, I was just seeing if you can help me out. No, you're gonna help them out, but you're gonna be like not as excited about it, right? So if you think about it, if your friend called you, hey Teresa, or hey Kyle, I need your help really quickly, and that enthusiasm right there. It's like, oh, how could I help you out? Like, I want to help you. You know, they're excited about it. So you want to always answer the phone and talk in a positive way. And you always have to be ready for the phone because it's what makes you your money, right? One thing I like to say, and we all like to say here, is your phone is your ATM, right? So let's say you do a phone jam from 7 to 8, right? And your phone jam's over, but someone calls you back. Are you just going to set that down and turn off your ATM? Or are you going to pick up the phone and set up that demo, right? You always have to be ready, be outstanding. And then the N in phone. So Baker, you can switch that next part. So the N in phone means natural. You know, once you get the P part down, then the H and the O, it starts to become natural for you. You know, you learn to love the phone because it's what makes you your money. You know, that's what it comes down to. The more you do it, it becomes your ATM right there. And then the E. The E stands for excitement and enthusiasm, right? Baker, you can switch it. So the excitement and enthusiasm. Like I kept saying, you know, if you're not excited or enthusiastic on the phone, your customer won't be either. You know, you have to relay that energy in order to get that back as well, wanting them to be excited to help you out, right? So, and I have a question for everybody. What's the most important thing when meeting somebody new, right? It's got to be your first impression, right? The first impressions are very, very important. And the first place you ever meet somebody or have your first impression is when you call them, right? So you want to set a good impression right off the bat when you're calling them. Before you even do the demo with them, you want to create a good impression. You know, you want to be excited. You want to be enthusiastic about what you do. You know, and this creates relationships for the rest of your business career. And when you're excited about something, people tend to listen and care a lot more, right? Think about it. If your friends, Owen, or your friends Hunter, were to call you and be super excited, aren't you gonna like want to listen to them more, right? You're gonna want to hear them out. You'd be a lot more excited to hear it, right? So that's what you got to do. It's the same thing with your customers. And if anyone ever tells you, do phone jams, right? Like whether it's Baker, your parents, or just yourself, go into it and tell yourself, great, I'm excited for this, and this can be used for outside of making phone calls as well. Anything that you want to do. Like personally, I'm trying to get better shape now, right? And at first I was like, I don't know. And then I started telling myself, great, like, let's do it. I'm excited for it. And then it became easier and easier to just get up and do it, right? You have to be excited for it. And then when you're excited for it, you'll be going into your phone jam with a lot more energy, and it's just going to be a lot more enjoyable for you. So it's just all about your mindset right there. That's what the E comes down to, is excitement, enthusiasm, your mindset. And then now I just want to share like some tips as well on how to get better during your phone times and how to master that. So you can go to the next slide, Baker. So tips on phoning. You typically want to, you may not have to make calls every single day, but if you really want to go for that big push, or you really want to go for that big goal, making at least 20 phone calls a day, that's a really great way to become the best in the business and, be on Evan's radar or be on Baker's radar for staff. If those are things that you're interested in, you have to do things that others aren't willing to. So make those 20 phone calls a day. If you do this for 30 days, it'll just be a habit, so it'll be natural to you. And then you go to the next one as well. So I myself have felt this a couple times, but have any of you ever like going into a phone jam like, man, I make phone calls all the time. Like you feel like you make them all the time, right? So the reason behind that is because you might be doing it randomly. And when you tend to do things randomly, it feels like you're doing it all the time. So you want to be able to plan your phone times accordingly. Not only so, it makes it a little bit easier and know when to make phone calls, but it just makes it more enjoyable. You like it more because you know when you're going to be doing it. It doesn't feel like it's happening all the time right there. And then just know, like, whenever you make phone calls, the best times are typically 6 to 8. But with the whole Corona and everything going on, any time's really a good time to call nowadays. Everyone's at home. So, and then last but not least, for the last tip I want to give you on phoning is whatever day you do your phone jam on, you're going to be setting up your next 2 days or your third day right there. You typically don't want to go anything farther than 4 to 5 days ahead of time because the chances get a little bit lower for remembering or rescheduling and all of that. So you typically want to schedule for the next couple, maybe to a few days ahead of you right there. And then last but not least, I want to get to the phoning approach right here. So with the phoning approach, don't ever think what if. I have this issue myself, and if you ever think about it, Jacob or Leisha, if you ever think about it, when you start thinking what ifs, typically the what ifs are things that don't even happen that often. That's why they're called what ifs. So stop thinking what ifs, before you go into a phone jam. We all tend to hesitate a little bit. What if they're like this? What if they say no? What if they don't like me? What if this, or what if, just those what ifs are just like kind of wasting your time and messing up your mental about thinking about things that aren't relevant or things that happen often, right? So that's why they are what ifs, because it doesn't happen very often. And then you can go to the next point, Baker. And if you do get a no, don't think of it as like just a no, right? Think of it as a challenge, right? One thing that I learned at one of my first ever conferences, that there's a secret number, an invisible number on the back of somebody's heads of how many no's they're going to give you before they give you a yes right there. So think of it more as a challenge than a straight up no, because you just have to ask enough questions or share enough goals or something along those lines before they're like, you know what? Yeah, I want to get that. I want to help you out. I want to give you those 20 recommendations. I want to give you those 30, I want to get that homemaker right there. So just don't think of it as no. And then when you get to the referrals part, when you're asked about recommendations, one thing that's going to help you out a ton in building relationships with your next customers is asking the person recommending you to them, what is your favorite thing about this person? what do you love about them? Like, what is your favorite thing? Because this will create something to relate to when talking to your new customer. Like, for example, hey, Mrs. Jones, my name is Andrew Meyer. I was speaking with your friend Susan. She said you made the best apple pie right there. And then she'd be like, what, she did? She said I made the best. I'm like, yeah, definitely. And then you continue on with that conversation and just immediately opens up a door for conversation for you right there. And also too, if you ask them like, what's your favorite thing about this person? You know, they say, oh, they're super kind, like they're super awesome. They help out a ton. They're really kind, right? And you tell that to them like, hey, they said that you're really kind. You build up on their relationship, right? And let's say they get Cutco, which everyone loves Cutco, right? So they're gonna start talking like, oh wow, I can't believe you said that about me. Thank you. Like, I really do appreciate that. And then what about this Cutco, right? Isn't this amazing? And then when they have friends come over, right, they're going to say like, oh, wow, these knives are great. Like, what about them? Oh, you need to talk to my Cutco guy, Owen, or you need to talk to my Cutco guy, Jacob, or my Cutco girl, Julianne, right? They're going to be excited to tell their friends about you right there because of that interaction. And then you really want to get the customer to be on your side right there. So one thing I like to say, in Baker, I'm sorry, Baker, but Baker likes to say build rapport. I personally like to say build relationships, because to me, rapport is like more small talk, just getting conversation, but building a relationship are things that will last a long time, right? So you build rapport and then build relationships, I guess you would say, right? So that's really key right there. And really knowing more about your new customer is just like adding an extra bullet to your clip right there. You know more to talk about, more things to relate to, and things that they like as well. And this doesn't only make it easier to set up demos, but also to get more recommendations as well right there. And I just want to finish it off with one last thing to say, you know, about the challenge, right? If it's a no, it's just a challenge, you know? So just keep going, keep pushing through. You'll be able to get them on your side, you know, but through building relationships, continuing that conversation. Just ask more questions, you know, ask more questions, ask why, you know, just don't think of it as a no, think of it as a challenge. So yeah, those are my tips and tricks on how to get better at phoning, mastering the phone, and all of that. So thank you.
I was muted. All right, cool. So great stuff right there, Andrew. That was money. All right. So now we got to put this into action. So I just want to add a couple tips when we're scheduling appointments. Now that school is in session, we need to be masters of time, right? And customers need to work within your time, right? Remember how I said work like a professional, get paid like one. So don't leave it up to the customer to pick out the time for the appointment, right? They're doing too much work. That's not their job. That's your job, is to get them into your schedule. For example, you know, when you guys set up an appointment with your doctor, right? The doctor doesn't say like, oh, what time is good for you, Julianne? No, they're like, okay, you can come in at 9 a.m. or at 11. Those are our only two times for that day. Now, are those really their only two times? No. That's just like they're pro at scheduling people, right? And for example, right, like Andrew, I'm going to use you getting your teeth pulled out or whatever it is, or you're doing a root canal or something, right? He has to see a specialist, but the specialist is only there on one day a week or one day a month, and Andrew has to get his appointment within that time frame, right? He can't be like, oh no, can we do it like on Monday? The specialist is gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna be there, right? So what you guys got to do is, when you offer your times, you want to assume the sale, meaning, Mrs. Jones, hey, I have two more openings on Thursday. Does 4 or 6:30 work better for you? Right? And if your customer is like, oh, I can't do those times, can you do tomorrow at 2? You're like, oh, actually, no, I'm not available then, but I do have a 4 or 6:30. Is there any way you can squeeze me in those times? Right? So you don't want to ever like try to like move your whole schedule for a customer, right? They need to fit into your schedule, or you need to offer different days and times, right? Whatever works for your schedule, whatever you planned out as your time that you could do demos, you want them to fit right there. All right. So right now our goal is to schedule 25 demos as a team. All right, 25 demos as a squad right now. That comes out to about 3 per person. All right, about 3 per person. So let's hop on the phone jam. Let's crush it, and we're gonna be doing this until about 7:25, 7:30, somewhere around there, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, guys. So let's start making some phone calls. I'll get some music going, and then we'll go.
Yeah, let's do it. Smile when you dial.
Smile when you dial.